So welcome back to the Schmitter's 100 Acre Woods. So today is another cleanup day. So brought the long bed trailer. I have the zero turn with me, and brought the little tractor with the bush hog. So today, just getting this area cleaned up again. This spot where they planted new grass is finally coming up well enough that can kind of get it mowed, and do the same thing on the other side of the pond where they planted grass. And then there's kind of a section over there that we have cleared out that we didn't get mowed last time. Work on, and Dad's on the little tractor just on the other side over there, working on getting that area between the two drives kind of cleaned up. My hope is to get it bush hogged down enough that we can actually get the York rake on there and kind of York break everything into a pile, because there's quite a bit of stuff, as you can hear them hitting stuff in the woods over there. So it'd be nice to get some of that picked up so that I can then start mowing it with the zero turn. We come in here where some of the stuff's sitting. So I've gotten this opened up quite a bit. Able to mow a fair amount of that. Kind of getting stuff set up here. We'll probably bring the truck over later to get all this stuff picked up. I'll just take it back to the drain hole. Have the York rake over here. So that's like a pile of dirt that we took out from here. Just put it there and we'll use it someplace. And then we're able to get this opened up a fair amount. All this stuff is stuff that was down or came down easily. So Dad's working on getting some of this opened up in here, just with the mower. Some of these smaller trees, definitely the ones that look like S's, probably eventually get out of here and open all this up. Again, this is kind of where the firewood yard and the sawmill will eventually go when we come over here. Working on getting stuff pulled out to clean up this area. So in here is kind of the area between the two drives. So we have the drive that they put in, and the other drive is over there that will come up and circle back around and come here. So eventually this will be yard, and just trying to get it cleaned up to the point where it can actually be mowed with a zero turn. There's a section up here that's not too bad, but then as you get back and you listen with the mower in the background, got a lot of stuff in here that's just down stuff that the bush hog chops up just fine, but the mower wouldn't be as happy about. So any of the bigger stuff that he's pulled out, or like some of the goofy trees, like that tree there's kind of got a nest shape to it. So some of that stuff we want to get cleaned out of here. Anything that's not a nice tree or is dead, like that one right there is dead, so it can just come out and kind of open this up a little bit, but keep it mainly how it is. Probably get all the sycamores out of here just because they're sucking up the light for the other trees. And eventually we'll evaluate kind of where exactly stuff is, because with the house being up there, or the pole barn, I don't really want stuff too close to it. Evidence of like the storm that just went through, and people are having issues with stuff falling on houses. I really don't want anything to be that close to where it can fall, so some of that type of stuff we'll clean back anyway. But a lot of the bigger ones in here are sycamores, which aren't really worth a whole lot anyway, and would be good to get rid of just because, like I said, they're soaking up light for other stuff. So some of the stuff here he pulled out, just put in the road, and will get pulled back or picked up. This is one of those spots where the land plane would be really nice, just because here have some ruts. So eventually we'll get it over here and get to using it, but like this spot here, it's kind of a soft spot, so we may have to kind of dig some of this up, put in some riprap or some sandstone, kind of stabilize, and then put the stone back on top of it. Of the bigger stuff, but we'll take the York rake next and work on getting a lot more of this kind of gathered up. So there's a lot of smaller trees in here. Any of the sycamores we'll definitely take out. The locust, I think we'll take some of it out. There's not very many in here, but a few. So we'll get those removed. And then most of the trees up that direction we're probably going to kind of take out anyway, because they'll kind of be close to the house and I don't want anything too close like I mentioned before. So able to run around in circles with the York rake and clean up a lot of this. I was able to go through and pick up some of the bigger stuff that the York rake didn't want to hold on to. Anytime you can use the machine to do a lot of the work, it's really nice instead of having to do it by hand. So it's really nice having this option to get this closer to a condition where it can be mowed with the zero turn. You're working fairly well, so basically able to just put it down and start doing loops, so you can kind of see where he's done it. Doesn't pick up 100% of stuff, but it's getting a lot of it. A whole lot better than doing it all by hand. Once he's got a big enough pile here, he just kind of sweeps it into one pile. And whenever we have the otter here, we'll use the little tractor and the otter, load this stuff up in the bed, take it back to the green hole and dump it. Be a lot more efficient that way. We can put it in the bucket of the tractor and take it back, but it just takes a lot longer. With this, we'll be able to do it this way. And get this spot cleaned up pretty nice. The only other problem is doing some of the small stuff like this. You get stuck, so you gotta occasionally stop and clean all that out. Down on this lower section down here, just doing the same thing. In that time lapse, you'll probably be able to see some of it. But bigger stuff like this, but then heavier items, like a lot of the dead, just kind of pieces of wood that we have around. The tines don't do a real good job holding onto that. It'll typically kind of let it kind of hop over. So I've been picking up some of that stuff as he goes through, but it's definitely a lot better than having to do it all by hand. I think one of the next things to do down here is kind of take out, identify the trees we don't want and start taking some of those out. We'll get this opened up a little bit more to where we can go through and work the dirt a little bit and kind of get it leveled out. Right now it's pretty uneven and has a lot of dips and humps and things in it. So we can take the trees out that we don't want, and then kind of go through with that land plane or the grader box and start leveling some of this up. And we're just doing the same thing down here, just getting a pile that we'll eventually take back, and kind of just been putting piles along the road here that will get picked up. Either put it in the truck or put it in the dump trailer. We'll bring it and get all that stuff back. So same basic thing up here, kind of just on the other side of the drive. It's an area we mowed out. I haven't cleaned it up as much, so I'm not sure how well it'll work, but I figure we'll give it a try and get a little bit of it. And then if it doesn't work, then we'll mess with it some other time. But I figure we could get some of this cleaned up, it'd be good. It'd help definitely with mowing. Okay, so this is that spot. Got it drug out. Again, not 100% perfect, but gets a lot of it into a pile over here, and just kind of starts getting in the right direction, starts opening this up. Again, septic and everything's going to kind of be out that direction, so we want to kind of start getting some of this opened up so that the sun can get down to the ground. And it's not that it's necessarily wet over there, it's just kind of because all of this has been, sitting in the leaves and stuff for so long, it kind of holds the moisture, whereas if we can get it opened up, it will start to just be better ground. Dad went down to get the 100-foot tape, just to kind of do a quick layout of what the house is going to look like, just to kind of have an idea of how far. We kind of have a starting point over there that we want to start at, and then coming this direction. So kind of get an idea of what that will look like coming this way, how far that is into the woods, just so we have kind of an idea. And then same thing going across to see what that looks like. That way we kind of keep changing our size, but I think 96 by like 48, 46 is kind of the size that we're looking at putting here. So it'll be a pole barn, with the majority of it being barn, and then a little section on this end being the living section. So here you're looking at kind of us getting the house laid out. So we have a flag back toward the pond. So the camera's set up on a tree back where we just cleared, and basically just kind of measuring out to get a perspective of how far back into the woods everything's going to go, just so when we start having to take down trees and things like that, anything that's going to be kind of in the house area, we want to remove the stump on. Anything that's going to be in the yard septic area, we don't want to disturb that soil, so we'll leave the stumps. Here I end up getting off camera as far as how wide it's going to be, but basically it goes kind of another 10 feet or so past where the camera's looking, and just kind of helps give us an idea whenever we start clearing out what exactly we need to do to clear out trees. So one thing we hope to do this summer is get this opened up a little bit more, and also being able to utilize the lumber. So next day we come back and clean up the mess we made here on the road. Have several trees that we pulled out that were in that area or in the way of being mowed. So we take the tailgate off the truck just so whenever we pull stuff out of there, it's not getting hung up on it.
And we just take everything back to the green hole and just kind of pull it out next to it, and then we'll utilize the tractor to get everything pushed in. So even though at this point it's pretty dry, it's nice having that gravel road, because even if it's a little wet, you can utilize this path now. So we just drive back in next to it and manually pull stuff out. Get a little spoiled by the dump trailer, but it's not always the most practical on some of these applications, so we just utilize the truck this time. So we do several of these, getting this all cleaned up. There's a fair amount of stuff there. A lot of it not very big, just a lot of kind of the limbs and stuff take up a lot of room, definitely in a truck bed like that, so we run it through and get all this cleaned up so that it's not in the way of the driveway and just sitting there making more of a mess. So these couple of days were mainly just cleanup days, trying to get areas opened up a little bit and get some yard figured out. Here we walk back and take a look at where we want to put the new green hole, so be looking for that video coming up when we start making a path to the green hole. So hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, and we'll catch you next time.